Among all the places I've been to, Kathmandu has been the closest to my heart. I've spent some good 4 years in the valley. The place has an amazing geometry and symmetry amidst all the chaos, from pagodas crowding the traffic to the narrow cobbled streets of Bhaktapur and the children playing football between the shrines. Just about everything fascinated me. This is one city where myth, religion, and history crisscross at every corner. I was introduced to the heart of Nepal by a dear Newari friend, Mahendra Maharjan, who passed away in the 2015 earthquake. I used to call him Bam, which is a pet name in Nepali for short-heighted people. He was a guide and he could speak 17 languages. He was talented in many ways. The man truly introduced me to the Nepali traditions, the culture, the food, the music, and especially the mountains, which I have trekked a lot. Maybe in some future episodes I'll share my trekking experiences in Nepal with you. Largely, the valley was divided into 4 parts: Kirtipur, Lalitpur, Bhaktapur, and Kantapur, which is now known as Kathmandu. This is one such incident which happened in the village of Chapagaon in Lalitpur, about 20 kilometers from Jawalakhel Zoo. I used to meet Bam every Sunday in Patan Darbar Square, where he used to interact with a lot of tourists across the world. The courtyard had stupas and shikaras and various ancient water tanks. A great place to observe metalsmiths making kukris, woodworkers curating masks, tanka painters making intricate designs, and carpet weavers weaving excellent handloom. One such Sunday, a Japanese tourist approached Bam to take him to a witch doctor who casts demons away. Bam agreed for a price. Her name was Noriko Nakamura. Apart from the Indonesian islands, Nepal is also known for its witchcraft, black magic, and occult practices across the world. On reaching Chapagaon, we entered the Tantric's Nepali home. We saw he was standing with his right leg on a girl's head and reciting mantras. Bam said he was casting away bokshis which was present inside the girl. Demons or evil spirits in Nepal is called bokshis. Back in those days, it was a great belief that Nepali people were often possessed by evil spirits and ghosts. So visiting a witch doctor was a normal practice among the villagers. Behind the Tantric was a huge statue of Dakshin Kali. Dakshin Kali is a powerful tantric temple situated in the outskirts of Kathmandu Valley. It is famous for animal sacrifices. People in bright colored clothes queue up in the temple with roosters and sheep and goats for animal sacrifice. These bloody offerings mostly take place on Tuesdays and Saturdays. For those of you who haven't visited Dakshin Kali temple in Kathmandu, must do so. Probably in one of my next videos, I will tell you about the mystic places to visit in Kathmandu. So coming back to the story, behind the statue was these wild geese, black color with long necks. We sat through the process of casting that demon, and eventually the girl gained consciousness and moved out with her family. Now it was our turn. Bam spoke to Noriko in Japanese and introduced her to the Tantric. The Tantric asked Bam in Nepali, what does she want? And she rattled her entire problem to him. It so happened that Noriko's father died in a car crash in Osaka about 3 years ago. But till date, she suffers anxiety attacks and feels as if her father haunts her every time. She is unable to function or perform her duties. She confines herself into one room and suffers. She fears that she will not be able to live very long if this state continues for a very long time. Bowed down to the feet of Ma Kali and at one go removed the head of the geese with the sword. Carrying the rest of the body, he came close to Noriko and started pouring the blood from the neck onto her head and started uttering mantras. And by the time it finished, Noriko was lying unconscious on the floor. The only thing which was running through my mind that time was she was a foreign national and she was in a new country. If anything goes wrong, a lot of people are going to get into trouble. But unlike that, something much more interesting happened. She sat up. The Tantric asked Bam to ask her father's name. But she couldn't remember her father's name at all. It was completely erased from her mind. She tried very hard but couldn't recall nothing. Her friends and relatives took out her father's photograph from her purse and showed it to her. But she couldn't recognize her father. Neither she could recall his name. If you browse the internet today, you will find a lot of good researches which are going on erasing human memory. But that is very recently. I'm talking about 1997 here. My understanding that day was all the past researches that we have done and all the present researches that is being worked upon already exists in this universe. We've just got to align this human geometry with the higher geometry of the cosmos, and everything automatically will just pour in. Later that evening, we all had dinner together at Nanglo's bakery at Darbar Marg. And Noriko was absolutely normal, just like any other person. I'm still confused till this date that whether the tantric casted her father's spirit away or she was suffering her own memory. If you are fearless by nature, you should visit some of the remote villages in Nepal. You will find a lot of interesting stories among the villages. If you like this experience of mine, please do like, share and subscribe. See you with another story very soon.